My mother was a professional con artist. Her specialty was staging accidents. From early on, she dragged me to busy streets, scanning for victims. The moment a car slowed, she'd shove me into its path. I would fall, crying out in pain, while she wailed over me, accusing the driver of reckless endangerment. $100,000 was the usual demand, extracted through terror and theatrics. I suffered 3 broken bones over the years. Each time, she bought me ice cream afterward, as though sweetness could erase the sharp agony of fractured limbs. "Nina, are you ready?" she whispered, crouched at the entrance of a narrow alley. I clutched my backpack tightly, eyes locked on a black sedan inching toward the intersection. My leg was still in a cast, a souvenir from last month's scam. "Mom, it still hurts," I murmured. "Stop whining," she snapped. "Look at that car. They're loaded. This one could cover the whole month." Then, with perfect timing, she shoved me hard. I flew forward and landed in front of the vehicle. The driver scrambled out, panic on his face. "Little girl, are you all right?" My mother erupted into her practiced performance. "My baby, you monster. Can't you see what you've done?" I lay on the asphalt, eyes closed, moaning just enough to sell the act. We'd perfected this routine, conning dozens over 2 years. Fear had hardened into numb acceptance. 1 million, my mother shrieked, naming a sum that was pure fantasy. The man hesitated, then nodded.
Fine.
But not here. He opened his car, gesturing for us to get in. Relief washed over my mother as she scooped me up. But the car didn't head for the city. It veered toward the outskirts and finally stopped at an abandoned factory. "This isn't the hospital," I whispered. The driver's face darkened. "No, it isn't. This is a place for lessons." He called himself Landon Pierce. He dragged my mother from the car. "What do you want?" "I've called the police," she screamed, backing away. He ignored her and tossed a crowbar at her feet, his gaze shifting between us. "Your choice. You or her?" Confused, she stuttered.
I don't understand."
"Either you break your own arm, or I break hers," he said coldly. "Her bones will heal fast. You won't. Choose." My mother fell to her knees, clutching his leg. "Please, don't make me. I have to work." "I can't." Landon pushed her aside and turned to me. "Don't be afraid, little one. I'll be gentle." Before I could react, the crowbar came down. A sharp crack echoed, and pain shot through me as my other leg shattered. He tucked a bank card into my pocket. 6 zeros. Enough to live and mend your bones. "Let your mother know this is what her choices earned." Then he drove away, leaving us in silence. My mother appeared moments later, searching frantically. When she found the card, joy twisted her face into something grotesque. "Nina, you're my lucky charm. We're rich." She spun me in her arms, oblivious to my agony. Tears blurred my vision. Pain and betrayal mingled, a chill settling in my chest. "Mom, your lucky charm has 2 broken legs." The following 6 months were a nightmare. Confined to bed, I endured slow, agonizing recovery under the care of a cheap, unlicensed doctor my mother hired. My legs healed poorly, left with permanent weakness and a deep ache that flared on rainy days. Meanwhile, the windfall disappeared quickly. My mother squandered it on clothes, jewelry, and gambling. Her temper returned, and I bore the brunt of it. "This is all your fault," she screamed. "If you hadn't been useless, scared of that man, we wouldn't have lost everything." Then she discovered a new target, a rich, reckless teen named Kyle who terrorized our neighborhood on his electric scooter. "You'll roll yourself out there," she instructed, eyes gleaming with greed. "I'm scared," I whispered, gripping the wheelchair's arms. "Scared? He hits you. We get a fortune. It'll pay for college." Before I could protest, she shoved me into the street. The wheelchair collided with Kyle, throwing me violently against the curb. Blood ran down my face, vision blurring. My mother's performance began immediately, screaming for attention. The crowd gathered, but nobody asked if I was hurt. $200,000 later, she pushed me home, humming, giddy with triumph. I closed my eyes. "Mom, if I die, will you bargain with my corpse next?" The Kyles agreed to pay, but there was a condition. My mother had to bring me to their home to sign a formal release, closing the matter once and for all. Mom considered this reasonable. She dressed me in the only new outfit she had bought and wheeled me to their mansion, all marble and gilded trim. Kyle's mother greeted us with warm, practiced charm. "Come in, Nina. Such a sweet child. It pains me to see you hurt. She handed me an expensive teddy bear and stroked my hair. Kyle trailed behind, clearly mortified. Do we really have to do this, Mom? Quiet, his mother snapped. Apologize to your sister now. He muttered a barely audible, sorry, while my mother smiled, beaming at the display of power. Everything seemed calm, but I noticed a strange chill in Mrs. Kyle's eyes when they met mine. After the apology, my mother prepared to leave, but Mrs. Kyle insisted we stay for refreshments. Maria, the kind housekeeper who had once tried to help me, brought out pastries with a gentle smile. We were shown to a sitting room, where Kyle followed, glaring at me from across the table. My mother chatted with Mrs. Kyle, bragging about how hard her life had been raising me alone. Then Kyle approached, whispering with venom. I heard your mom's a professional scammer. I ignored him. What, deaf now? If it weren't for you, my dad wouldn't have. This isn't over. Suddenly, he shoved my wheelchair. 2 low steps stood between us and disaster. The chair tipped. I hit the marble edge, blood streaming from my head. Everything went silent. My mother's frantic screams, Mrs. Kyle's shock, they all faded. Only Maria's horrified face remained. She pressed something small and hard into my hand just before I lost consciousness. Mom's reaction was a mix of rage and desperation. She demanded money, screaming a new sum, $500,000. The Kyles, intimidated, paid without hesitation. I spent days in the hospital with a severe concussion and temporary hearing loss. My mother hovered, not out of concern, but fear. Her golden goose could not be harmed. I regained my senses, but the anger inside me only deepened. In my fist, the small item Maria had pressed there reminded me I wasn't completely helpless. After discharge, Mom became paranoid, convinced the Kyles would retaliate. We're leaving, she muttered, packing our bags. We can't stay here. Too many eyes. She said a distant relative would take us away. But when the woman arrived, a large, harsh-looking figure driving a battered van, I realized the truth. Mom helped me in, handed the woman a thick stack of cash, and then left. Without another word. Mom. Mommy, I cried, pounding on the van's window. She disappeared around the corner. She had sold me. The woman behind the wheel snarled, Your mommy doesn't want you anymore. From now on, I'm in charge. I clutched the note Maria had given me. Memorizing the number, I bided my time. When the van stopped at a deserted crossroads, I seized my chance. I crawled from the van, dragging myself along the dirt road, legs weak but determination strong. An old woman appeared, cane in hand. I screamed her name and the number from the note, but the trafficker lunged, covering my mouth. The old woman's voice rang out, commanding and loud. Let her go. What do you think you're doing? Onlookers started to gather. Realizing she was outnumbered, the trafficker released me and sped off. I collapsed, gasping. The old woman helped me up. Moments later, a taxi arrived. Maria jumped out, hugging me fiercely. Nina, you're safe. The police took my statement. Every lie my mother had forced me to live through, every crime, every betrayal, I told them all. They found her quickly. She was gambling, oblivious, when officers arrested her. Nina? What are you doing here? She froze. Janet, you're under arrest for child abandonment and trafficking. Come with us. She screamed. I'm your mother. I would never sell you. I hid behind Maria. You stopped being my mother the day you chose money over my safety. Janet was sentenced to 10 years in prison. I was officially an orphan. Maria adopted me. I had a daughter once, she said gently. She passed away. The moment I saw you, I felt a connection. From now on, this will be your home. Her small apartment became my sanctuary. Her son, Leo, quiet and kind, left small gestures of care that made me feel part of a family. Under Maria's love, my legs healed. My pain persisted only on rainy days. I excelled at school, pouring my energy into studies. From elementary school to high school, my name topped the rankings. Valedictorian, law school, the works. Each achievement was a tribute to Maria, a promise that her kindness would never go unreturned. After law school, I secured a position at a top firm. My very first case involved child trafficking, and I won, quickly earning the respect of my colleagues. Within 5 years, I became the youngest partner in the firm's history. With my earnings, I bought a beautiful home for Maria and Leo. On moving day, Maria ran her hands over the gleaming windows, tears welling in her eyes. "Nina, my life is complete," she whispered. I hugged her tightly. The good days are only beginning. Leo flourished as an architect, our little family thriving in ways I had once only dreamed of. I believed my past, the name Janet, the memories, was finally behind me. Then one afternoon, a call from my hometown police shattered that illusion. "Ms. Nina Garcia, your birth mother, Janet, has been released from prison," the officer said. "We are required to inform you. She may already be aware you're in the city."
My heart sank. 10 years had passed.
Yet she remained a shadow over my life. A few days later, she appeared at my firm, a frail, disheveled woman, her white hair thin, her face mapped with wrinkles. Only her eyes were the same, calculating, cold, familiar. "Mom." I tried to pass her by, but she seized my arm. "Don't go. I've looked everywhere for you. You were away for 10 years, and I thought of you every day." Her words twisted reality. I was no prisoner. She was. "Let go of me. You're my daughter. You owe me care in my old age. This is all your fault. If I weren't trying to support you." Her theatrics were the same I had endured as a child. A crowd gathered, whispering judgments. I had had enough. I pulled out my phone and pressed record. "Miss Janet," I began, calm and measured. "Can you tell me how many times I broke bones as a child?" Her face froze. "Do you recall when both of my legs were broken? Or when you sold me to a trafficker?" Color drained from her face. She stammered, denied, panicked. "No," I said coldly. "You conveniently forget. Perhaps your former associate will remind you soon." She realized then that I was no longer helpless. What do you want?" she asked, trembling. "Nothing," I replied, "except to stay away. Otherwise, the law will intervene." I turned, leaving her to her curses, and returned home. Maria and Leo had seen the news. Janet's dramatic confrontation spread online instantly. "Evil woman." Maria cried, tears in her eyes. "She'll try again," Leo warned. "I'll handle it. Let her try. I'll respond in kind," I said. I organized a press conference, presenting every fact of my childhood abuse. Medical records, police reports, and testimony from Landon Pierce, who now led a public company. His counsel confirmed his involvement, framing his actions as a reaction to witnessing my abuse. Finally, I played the recording of Janet outside my office, where she admitted her schemes and prison sentence. Public opinion shifted instantly. Janet became a social pariah, rejected by everyone. When she approached me again, kneeling and weeping, I felt nothing but disgust.
"Your apology is too late," I said.
"My family is here. Maria is my mother now." Maria, fierce and protective, stood between us. "If you ever harass Nina again, you answer to me." Janet retreated, humiliated and powerless. She then filed a lawsuit, demanding financial support from me as her daughter. In court, she wailed about the sacrifices she had made. But I remained silent, letting the evidence speak. Medical records, police files, testimonies, and the press conference video left her claims empty. My lawyer methodically dismantled her arguments. "Miss Janet," my lawyer asked, "what color dress did Nina wear the day you sold her to a trafficker?" She couldn't answer. "You remember nothing," my lawyer continued, "because you abandoned her. You left a child to face danger alone." The courtroom was silent, Janet speechless, her lawyer unable to intercede. The final verdict was decisive. Janet's claim was dismissed. The court ruled that the bond of care outweighs the bond of birth. She had failed to fulfill her role as a parent, forfeiting any right to claim support. When the gavel fell, Janet collapsed.
Defeated.
Utterly. Janet was not finished. After losing in court, she camped outside the courthouse with a banner, insisting the judgment was unfair and that I had twisted the system to my advantage. She tried to weaponize public outrage one last time. But nobody cared anymore. People walked past her, whispering that she was unhinged. She had become a spectacle, not a victim. A few days later, authorities detained her for disturbing public order. 15 days behind bars broke what was left of her health. Years of chaotic living and untreated illness had already worn her body down. She had advanced kidney disease and needed regular dialysis. In detention, she missed 2 treatments. When she was released, she was barely conscious. The officers rushed her to the hospital, where doctors immediately issued a critical condition notice. After failing to reach any family, The hospital traced her records back to my firm and called. I was reviewing documents for a new case when my phone rang. Ms. Garcia, your mother is in critical condition. Without immediate surgery, she could. I am not her next of kin. I cut in. My name should not be there. She listed you herself, the nurse said helplessly. That is her mistake, I answered, then ended the call. I stared out the window at the gray sky. It suited the heaviness in my chest. Leo walked in. Sis, everything online has been handled. Janet's smear campaign is gone. He hesitated. The hospital called me too. What do you think? I asked quietly. I stand with you, he replied. Whatever you choose is the right choice. I sat in thought for a long time before finally rising. We are going to the hospital. Leo blinked in surprise. You want to see her? I want closure, I said. Nothing more. When we arrived, Janet was already in surgery. Hours later, the surgeon came out, exhausted. She made it. She is stable for now, but her kidneys are failing completely. She will depend on dialysis from now on. I looked at her through the glass. Her body was motionless, surrounded by machines. This was the same woman who had broken me, sold me, dragged me through the mud. Now she looked small, colorless, almost unreal. I did not step inside. After a moment, I turned away. I paid for her surgery without leaving my name. Not out of mercy. Not out of kindness. I simply did not want her to die quickly. Death would be an escape. Living was the harsher sentence. I wanted her to wake up every day with regret as her companion, trapped with her own memories and loneliness. That, I decided, was the sharpest blade. When Janet regained consciousness, she was told that an anonymous benefactor had covered her medical expenses. She cried, thinking fate had given her another chance. She asked everyone in the ward about the stranger. I sent my answer through Leo. The benefactor said, she helped you only so you would live long enough to face the consequences of what you have done. Janet froze. She understood immediately. She begged to see me, screamed my name, accused me of being ungrateful. But the staff had heard enough of her wild stories. They would simply shake their heads and calm her with medication. Her world narrowed to a hospital room and the steady hum of a dialysis machine. She would never touch my life again. When I returned home, Maria had filled the table with my favorite dishes. She did not pry, only placed more food in front of me, with gentle hands. Nina, eat, you are getting too thin. Leo poured juice for me and smiled softly. It is all behind you now. I looked at the two of them, my chest tightening with emotion. He was right. The past had finally loosened its claws. The little girl named Nina had died long ago in that abandoned factory. The woman standing here was Nina Garcia, a daughter cherished by her mother, a sister loved by her brother. My life was warm, bright, and full of promise. Outside, the storm clouds drifted away, and a rainbow arched across the sky.